Breaking news. Trump and Putin to hold peace talks. Former President Trump announced plans for peace talks with Russian President Putin after a productive phone call. Potential meeting locations include Moscow, Washington, D.C., and Saudi Arabia. The talks aim to resolve the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Reactions range from cautious optimism to condemnation. Ukrainian President Zelensky stresses Ukraine's involvement in negotiations. European leaders emphasize Ukraine's sovereignty. The coming weeks will be crucial for these talks. While the prospect of peace talks has been met with some hope, the details revealed about the US stance have sparked considerable concern. Trump, along with his Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, has indicated a willingness to accept concessions on Ukraine's territorial integrity and NATO membership. Trump has stated that Ukraine is unlikely to regain all the territory it lost to Russia since 2014. Hegseth, speaking at a recent NATO meeting, echoed this sentiment, suggesting that Ukraine's potential NATO membership is off the table for the foreseeable future. These statements signal a significant shift in US policy. This shift has been met with apprehension from European allies who see it as a weakening of the US commitment to European security. Many fear that this concession could embolden Russia and set a dangerous precedent for future conflicts. The lack of clarity surrounding the US position has only added to the uncertainty. Many are left wondering what a negotiated peace might look like and what concessions Ukraine might be pressured to accept. Caught in the middle of these high-stakes negotiations is Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. While he has welcomed the possibility of peace talks, Zelensky has made it clear that any agreement must involve Ukraine and respect its sovereignty. Zelensky faces an impossible dilemma. He must balance the immediate need for peace in his country with the long-term interests of Ukrainian independence and territorial integrity. This delicate balancing act is further complicated by the shifting positions of international actors, particularly the United States. Despite the challenges, Zelensky has remained resolute in his commitment to a free and independent Ukraine. He has continued to engage with international partners, seeking to rally support for Ukraine's cause. He recently met with US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent in Kiev and is scheduled to meet with Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio at the upcoming Munich Security Conference. The outcome of these meetings could be crucial in shaping the US approach to the peace talks and ultimately determining the fate of Ukraine. The announcement of peace talks has reverberated across the globe, prompting a range of reactions from world leaders and international organizations. While some have expressed cautious optimism, others have voiced deep concern over the potential consequences of a deal that fails to uphold Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. European leaders in particular have stressed the importance of a negotiated settlement that respects international law and the principles of territorial integrity. The European Union has called for a just and lasting peace in Ukraine that upholds the country's independence and territorial integrity. The United Nations has also called for a peaceful resolution to the conflict, urging all parties to engage in dialogue and refrain from any actions that could further escalate the situation. The organization has reiterated its commitment to supporting Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. As the world awaits further developments, the path to peace remains fraught with uncertainty. While the prospect of negotiations offers a glimmer of hope, the complexities of the conflict and the divergent interests of the parties involved suggest that a lasting solution will be difficult to achieve.